This was the most unforgettable night of my life. In the middle of the night, I saw a woman running through our apartment complex, being chased by a man in black, wearing a hood. Terrified, I pulled out my phone to call the police, but just then, the lights in my house suddenly turned on. I turned around. It was my wife, getting up for a glass of water, worried the killer might see us. I rushed to turn the lights off, but it was too late. He had already noticed our apartment. I crept to the window to check, and there he was, staring straight at me with cold, menacing eyes. Fear gripped me. Then he raised his hand, and began counting floors with his finger. He started walking, right toward our building. I've never been more terrified in my life. Snapping out of it, I grabbed a baseball bat, locked the bedroom door, and racked my brain for what to do next. But the night passed in silence. No sounds from outside. At sunrise, I began to think, maybe he got the wrong floor. But when I left for work, I saw the police swarming the complex. The woman had been found dead. I wanted to come forward, but one look at my wife and daughter, and I swallowed my words. I couldn't risk putting them in danger. But the days that followed were pure torment. I lived in fear, constant anxiety. Then one day, while watching the news with my wife, we saw coverage of the murder case. She was furious. I, on the other hand, couldn't even look at the screen, and things only got worse. That evening, the phone rang. My wife picked up, but there was no one on the other end. She brushed it off as a prank and hung up. Then it rang again. This time, I answered. Still, silence. Then, a knock at the door. It was our neighbor. She walked in and immediately pulled out a photo. The suspect's face from the news. Did you see him that night too? She asked. I pretended not to know what she was talking about. But then she said something that chilled me. Did you also get a silent call? She claimed the killer was warning us to stay quiet. And deep down, I knew she was right. But looking at my peaceful home, my smiling family, I told myself, I can't say a word. Then she did the unthinkable. She tried to drag me to the police station with her, but I was sure the killer was still watching, maybe even nearby. In a panic, I shoved her out and slammed the door. I didn't know it then, but that decision cost her her life. Moments later, she entered the elevator. A man in a black cap stepped in behind her. She recognized him instantly. It was the killer. She didn't scream, just kept her head down and got off at her floor. As the elevator doors closed, she let out a silent breath of relief, but just as she reached for the keypad to unlock her door, the killer came sprinting out from the stairwell.